Shweta, and I'm excited to welcome you back to another inspiring episode of Alumni Chronicles from PIBA. Today, we have yet another incredible career story to explore. Joining us is Ramachandran, a skilled business analyst currently working with Tata Consultancy Services. With 6 years of experience in the industry, he brings valuable insights and experience that we all can learn from. Ramachandra, it's pleasure to have you with us on PIBA Chronicles today. Thank you for taking the time out and joining us.
Hey, hi Shweta. Just quickly, highlight myself, my background, my work experience, and all. So we all know business analysts play a very crucial role in delivering the success of the project. With the help of this, I would like to introduce myself. This is Ramachandran, working as a business analyst for the past 5 years. I have a overall 9+ years of work experience. Started my career in the investment banking operations, wherein we
Okay.
manage the fixed income product called MBS, that is a mortgage backed security. So I was a
Okay.
part of middle office operation. We used to
Okay.
take care of all the operation activities. So right from the confirmation, allocations, settlements, everything we look into it. So as a good BA, one should have a good domain knowledge. So there I learned the domain knowledge. Then later I got an opportunity to work with the IT team. There I learned how the requirement is gathered, documented, and explained to stakeholders by preparing a business requirement document, functional specification, use cases, workflow, wireframe, user stories, and all. So it's a wonderful learning working as a BA from the past. I worked in a banking and the capital market domain. Currently, I stay in Sign, and so it's a wonderful learning.
Interesting. I mean, so you were working as operations again in finance domain itself, and then you moved to BA role. So yeah, I would like to understand why did you choose BA role? This would be my first question, and second follow-up question is that so how did you transition? So did you got an internal opportunity, or how was that?
So one is like the first question is for first answer. It's like when you work as a BA, it's like a learning. Let's say when you work in an operational role, so it's like 2-3 years. You'll be working, doing the same work. However, when you work as a BA, there is a lot of different project. It could be a 6 month project or a 1 year project. There is a keep on. There is a new learning throughout the day. Or you'll one day you'll work with the internal stakeholder, one day you work with the external stakeholders, one day you create the BRD, one day you create the update the FSD, one day you work on the UAT. So it's a wonderful it's like a journey. It's a keep on learning. You don't feel like you are doing the same work. However, in the operation, it's like more of a you'll be working in the same doing the same activities, doing the reconciliation work, doing the settlement issue. However, working as a PA, different challenges, different issues, or sometimes you'll get a call from your development team and they may not able to understand the requirement. You as a BA, you have to explain a requirement in a simple language. Give me an example. Let's say I from a finance background, so my development they know only a coding, right? So they for them there is a lot of queries. What is let's say if someone say I'm taking a loan against security or a mutual fund. So we need to explain to them what is mutual fund is all about. If you want someone is keeping a pledge as a mutual fund, what is a pledge for them. So we need to explain that. So that is the first question. And second question, I forgot. So how did
Yeah.
yeah, the role, So I got an internal opportunity. I got an internal opportunity there. So prior joining the PIBA, I did one of the certification from Vashi itself. Vashi itself. So there I get an exposure to the BA. So initially I got an internal opportunity. Then to enhance the skill, I did the business analyst certification from there.
Okay, okay. Interesting. I mean, it's good that you get an internal opportunity. It's very rare. So, again, I would like to question you on that. So, if you are transitioning from one role to another role, right, let's say from operations to BA itself, and if you get an getting an internal opportunity needs some sort of good rapport with your co-workers or maybe your managers or something like that. So can you just highlight on those points, like what went well for you so that you got this internal opportunity and you didn't switch at the first place?
So it's like when I was working in an operational role. So in the system, we come across a different issues, or we think let's say in automation, there are different as a operations. We used to create a number of reports, and sometimes we come across a system in a, there is some issues in the system. Let's say a trade. I'm from the investment banking, right? A trade is booked. However, it is not flow into a downstream application. So I was a part of initially. I was a part of business side. Then we need to explain to them, to the IT guy, this is a system. A trade is booked. However, it is not flown into a downstream application.
Right.
So that kind of issue as a part of business is to explain or giving the requirement to the IT team. Then later,
Right.
there is a there is like people who are working in the firms. At least they should have completed minimum 2 years. Let's say if you are working as an operation, and if you want to switch to other opportunities. So within the firm, they used to share the opportunity, and there is a constraint, right? You cannot, let's say, you have to at least stay with the firm, or you have to complete at least a minimum 2 to 3 years. Then you can switch to one role to the other role. And there should be a role is also, you cannot directly jump in. You have to upskill yourself. And similarly, you need to, whenever a new opportunity comes in, you have to inform your manager, this is, my, I'm looking for this role. Maybe could you please initiate accordingly. So this is how I transition my role from operation to a BA.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that, because it will help a lot of BAs out there who also wants to maybe who are in some other role and want to transition into BA role, and they are also looking for internal opportunities. So it will be sort of guidance to them. Okay. Moving on to the next question. So you come from finance domain and majorly in capital markets, right? So I want to understand, you already highlighted this point that domain knowledge is important, and when it comes to finance and especially CAPM in that, it's on priority, I would say. So if someone who is new and worked as a BA in some another domain and wants to move into this particular domain, what suggestion or guidance do you have?
So let's say anyone who is, let's say a person is from other domain, it could be an insurance domain or banking domain, and moving to a new domain. My suggestion is at least you need to understand, or you need to brush up all the basic concept of all the products, how it works. Okay, I'm not saying in a detail, but at least you should have some basic understanding of all the products. Let's say you are Shweta, right? Let's say you are working in the capital market domain. Someone explain you what is derivative, what is mutual fund, what is equity, what is the interest rate swap. Also, you should not have an end-to-end understanding, or at least you should brush up the basic understanding of what is the product is all about. So
Correct.
that is a suggestion I'll recommend.
Okay, and what if somebody is coming from non-banking background and it is completely a new thing? So how should they start to explore this domain?
Of course. Whenever Shweta, whenever you join any company, although we studied, I'm from the finance background, but when
Yeah.
you actually work in a project, that is a completely different, right? When it is so at least so first, whenever you working in any product, first you understand what is the product is all about. Maybe you go through the Google to understand what is the product is all about. When you are new BA or a fresher BA, first you need to you cannot say I don't know. You have to at least see them. You need to when a junior PA works in a project, first you need to see them what they are talking is all about. What is the problems they are explaining to you? What is the challenges they are explaining to you? What is the expectation for them? Whether are we building any new system right from the scratch, or are we working on any enhancement? And then you need to come up. Let's say if I'm the BA, I'm a new BA, I'm a junior BA. Then you need to understand. Then if you have a queries, you need to list down all the queries, and you need to talk to your senior BA. And whenever if you get any chance, you need to talk to your stakeholders. Maybe you book in a separate meeting to understand, because whenever we as a BA, we work with the external stakeholder. Sometimes even we are not, whatever the requirement they explain to us, it is difficult for us to understand the requirement also. Sometimes they themselves not sure about the requirement. So let's say
Right.
let's say client had given a 10 different requirement. Out of two requirement is not clear, So what we do, we used to book a separate session with them. Maybe we request them. Out of 10 requirement, 8 requirement was I'm clear. 2 requirement, I'm still not clear. Maybe you book a separate session with them. You come up your understanding. Let's say for the initial discussion, everyone may not know all the thing, right?
Right.
Document all your understanding. You highlight all your queries, then book a separate meeting with them to discuss only two open points or only two those requirement, and then they will explain you more details. Then you come up with the new, maybe a workflow diagram, how the product works. Maybe you
Correct.
come up with the use case or a news story. So by looking at them, they will help you more. Okay, then they will say, you need to do this changes. Maybe you can add the business rules. Then accordingly everything works. So when in a new meeting or any new requirement gathering, things may not work out initially. So it's like throughout the journey, you create some document, you prepare some document. So when you start creating the document, you work on it, you keep on adding the changes and all, you do workflow changes. Then
Right.
enter over the period of time, you will see the complete body structure of those documents and all.
Right, right. Thanks, Ram, for highlighting that. Moving ahead, since you have transitioned from operations to BA role, I would like to understand how easy or difficult was it for you to transition?
Uh, for this question, I'll say, Shweta. So it depends. So there are some people I have seen as a fresher, they have easily got a job opportunity. There are some people they worked in an operation, but I have seen my friend, to be honest, he worked in an operation. He quit his operation job. He did a certification, but still is not able to work as a BA. So it would be it depends upon the people to people. But all I'll suggest people who are working in the operation or people who are working looking for a PA, as a fresher, all they need to is to first you understand what is a BA role is all about, what are is deliverable, what are the document or a artifact we create, and
Right,
more important, whenever you get an initial project, you work under some senior BA, work under some senior BA, because I got an opportunity. I worked under a senior BA. I worked in a one small firm wherein is the director of the company used to create the document and all. So
right,
I used to work with them. He used to give us small requirement, do some changes in the document. How this, you do some changes, you create some workflow, you create some wireframe. So I used to create them. So you initially at least 2 to 3 years work under some senior BA, and you learn about the what are your deliverable, how to handle the difficult stakeholders, how it's like how to we cannot, because there in the project there could be a scenario, there some of the stakeholders are very aggressive, so you know to how to manage those stakeholders. So everything you cannot, that's what my suggestion is. You cannot you know if it is a new project, it will be difficult for you to manage the project alone. So better work under some BA. Although it's a you learn. Let's say I'm a new fresher. I'm a fresher BA. You do some certification. You learn about what is the BA roles, BA deliverable, and all. And then if you get any opportunity work under a senior BA, it would be a great rather than starting as a solo BA.
right. Thank you so much for highlighting this point, Ram. So I moving ahead, I want to understand now, since with AI, right, a lot of things are changing in a rapid pace. So I would like to understand how, from you, how BA role is also changing, and what do you see coming in near future with respect to our role?
For me, first I'll say BA. When we say BA, so there are different types of BAs in the market. Okay, so first BA, I'll say there are two types of BA. One is a technical BA and other is a functional BA. So
Right.
technical BA is the one we have seen, right? There are some people who have started their career as a developer, who is to
Hmm.
code, who is to code, and over the period of time, he transform his role from a developer to BA, but they themselves call as a technical BA because they know how to code as well as how to prepare the documents and all. However, the other BA is a functional BA. Let's say I'm the operation. There are some people we have seen, right? They started the career as a tester. they may not code exactly, but they can talk to the user, understand the requirement, create the document and all.
Right.
So those are the two types of BA. So in which, so there are different types also of BA, right? My friend is working as a Tableau. He is also themselves called as a business analyst. However, he only play with the data. That is, with the help of the Tableau, he shows some
Yeah.
visualization. So
Right.
BA come, there is a BA come, DA, that is a business analyst, who work with the only a data. There are some BA who work majorly focused on only on the testing. So
Yeah.
depending upon this, you need to select your role. Whenever a new opportunity or job description is shared, you need to first understand whether it's for a technical BA or whether it's for a functional BA, whether it's for a BA come DA, that is a data analyst, or BA come a testing role. First, you need to see them. Accordingly, you need to select which role fit you. And in the future about the BA, there is a lot of changes happening. So my suggestion is people who are working as a functional BA, at least as a, although you may not need to learn end-to-end coding, at least a basic coding need to learn, because there is a n number of platform, wherein low code platform you may not although it does not have much end to end. I have learned in one of the project wherein they provide the training on the low code platform. Let's say you as a you're from functional background, right from my journey, I started my career in the functional background, right, operational BA. So there I did not learn anything about the coding. So there it's a low code platform. They provide the training wherein you can build a application using the low code platform. It required a very minimal coding language with this. So irrespective of functional BA or any other BA, at least a basic coding uh,
Understand.
would require. It will it would add value to your weightage to your resume.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for describing everything in so much of detail about how one should choose their BA role or maybe a position in organization, how it is going to change with respect to AI as well. So, okay, moving ahead, I would now like to know when was the time that you came across PIBA? This is first question, and my second question to you is why did you choose PIBA?
Uh, yeah. So it's been last 1 year back. I think last January. I was from the LinkedIn I came to know the Banshu post. So he used to give a different session, right? So initially there is a one session on the BA. He posted the training. Posted I think every Sunday or Saturday he used to share some session is going on. So I thought, okay, better will at least we'll try to understand, how, by paying the token amount, and then I saw, what is the, what he's trying to say. Okay, then I attended his session. The way he explained, the way his energy level, right from the start to end, why the BA is lacking, why the BA is not able to crack the interviews, what type of BA role one should select. Everything was phenomenal. It was very insightful. The initial, it's like a mock session. you know I was very happy with the training. And then finally I decided, definitely I'll attend his session. I'll attend his training. So then I finally choose to attend his session. It was 4 weeks, and it was all the session was really interesting. And Divanshu is one of the very good trainer, and he has a very good knowledge. He's one of the very youngest trainer. Very, I have almost I did the certification, and after that I approximately 10 plus my friends I recommended him. Almost all of them are completed, and all of them are very happy with this training and all.
All right. Thank you so much for highlighting this point, Ramjan, that how interactive he is and how he is highlighting most important points with respect to BA. So now I like to ask you, since you already had some certification and you did some course, so how PIBA added value to your career as a BA? Because you already come with a BA background, right? So why was the need and how it added the value?
So although we worked in a BA, right? We worked in a BA, creating some artifacts relevant with some to enhance the skill. Let's say even though let's say there are two people working in a BA, either in the same company or two different company, but when they document any requirement, you see the documentation. Might be they may not be the same, right? Someone may create a very good documents, a very good document. So definitely maybe to enhance a skill, I thought maybe I'll enhance a skill. What are the things I can do better as a BA? Because let's say when you work as a BA 2 to 3 years, then eventually you'll see how I can do a better. You cannot do some you can client had given the requirement to me and I had created something and delivered. So what are the better way you can deliver those requirements that we can learn once you join the session and all the training and all. They teach you in a better way how to create a good a workflow diagram, how to create a good wireframing. Let's say when I say wireframing, let's say there are, it could be some mobile application or desktop application. For mobile application, which tool you need to use. So it's like a better way. So there I learned. So that was a good learning for me.
Okay, interesting. I mean, so basically, this has been an added value to your career.
Correct.
Uh, Thank you so much, Ram, for sharing this. Again, since you were mentioning, right, there is always a different way or better way of doing things as a BA. So I would like to know, do you see there is a gap in the market when you look at BAs or maybe the co-workers, as you were mentioning as one of the example of your friends or so? Uh, is there any gap or is there anything that BAs out there are lacking and they need to improvise or maybe understand or do some things in a different way, or I would say rather in a right way to get into a better position as a BA?
Uh, of course, yes, Shweta, because I have seen many people, they started their career as a developer or a tester. Then after that, they transition or transform their role from their developer or a tester to a business analyst. Then eventually, then the senior BA, lead BAs and all. But
Hmm.
however, they only follow what is my senior is when you work with the senior lead, you know the way of their working style and all. Eventually, we'll also follow the way they did, right? So in order to do, my suggestion is rather than you follow someone work, let's say you work in the same company over the period of time, let's say 2 years, 3 years, work under some senior BAs and all, you'll follow the same instruction. What is the instruction given by the senior lead BA or senior BA? You'll follow those only those instruction. So rather than let's say if you want, if you think how I can do a better, let's say as a BA, how I can maximize, how I can give a 100%. Let's say whenever a job description is given, you cannot only deliver that person. Whenever you work in any small startup, mid-sized firm or in a big four firm, they'll only see how you are giving your 200%. That has to be very accurate, right? So
Right.
rather than doing this, there are different codes, the different so for PIBA, that also they know exactly, they'll provide a workflow diagram. Let's say an example of how workflow diagram we can do a better way, or how we can create a web-based application, the wireframe and all, a very better way. So of course, by joining those session. Joining the session will indirectly one can enhance their career, career growth. And I'll say it's a learning it, we all know, like learning, it's a never ending process. At least the more you invest in yourself, the better learning you'll have.
Correct. Yeah, you said it right. I mean, the more you invest in yourself, the more growth you can see, maybe. Not maybe, yes. Also, since PIBA is focusing more on the practical side of it, so it is helping the BA out there in the community. Yeah, so one last question. We are towards the end of the conversation. I would like to know what suggestions do you have to all the aspiring BAs out there, and what should they do better so that they can stand out from rest of the BAs?
For other B, I'll say first, first you have some, whether you want, first you select which kind of BA you want to work, whether you want to work as a technical BA or a functional BA or BA come D or BA come testing. First you select those, clear in your mind, because whenever you get any job description, you need to first clear your mind that whether I can good to apply this job or not. You cannot randomly apply all the job. First you clear about, what is the role I'm applying or looking for. And secondly, so, at least irrespective of, we are from a banking capital market domain, we should have some basic idea about all the products, how the products work. We should have some, training. Let's say we have did a business analyst training. Similarly, there are different product training as well. You need to go through the training. And apart from, there is a different technologies, right? People from an operation background, you cannot say when you talk with the other business people or their IT team, you should have some, what they are speaking is all about. Someone speak about the cloud technology, what is the cloud technology is all about. Someone speak about AWS, what is Amazon workspace. At least we should have some basic understanding of it, right? So you need to at least not, there are different online platform available. You can go through it. There are different you can see. Let's say fresher BA. Even when I joined as a fresher BA, I did my certification and multiple certification as a BA. Recently I did the Divanshu PIBA. That is very good. And after that, I whenever I feel like, I want to do something or the product training and all, I'm working this product. I do, register for 1,500 or 2,000 rupees by register only. Let's say NSC certificate I used to do. So it's like throughout the journey, you have to think some learning, right? Let's say once you did a training, let's say training. So there are, what are the other book is available for a BA? One of the other BA, they have created. I forgot the name of the BA. He's a good author.
Okay.
Yeah, I purchased his book from the Amazon. Uh, Kishore Bandi, I guess, is the name of the author. So so it is, they have clearly mentioned. So as a BA, when you work as a BA, you need to keep on updating your skill. You need to see, because the project, you're not working in an operation role. Throughout the journey, you are working in a one task. So as a BA, there could be a different project. Some project, project may differ from one to another. So when you work in a project, you need to understand about the product, and you need to understand about the technology, which technology I'm working in, and which are the best possible way, I can give my 200%. If someone, request you to, prepare some document or workflow, which is the best possible way, how can I give a better document and all that, you need to think. And so that's it. Like, you need to think. It's like it's a learning throughout the process. So you need to keep on learning, and you need to learn from one another, right? If someone is new person is joining, when you work with a developer or when you work with a tester, you need to explain the requirement to them in a better way, so that so that the other person think, this person, explaining the requirement very good. We have seen in our organization as well, right? Even though there are n number of people is working, but there is one person is, very active. When you work with them, you feel like, very energetic, very active, as a number of, asking the a number of questions. Because as a BA, you should, the book is shared, as a BA, when you work in any requirement, you should have, for, let's say there are you should have a question, as a BA. When I was working in the operation, I was very, shy to ask any question in front of the people, right? So I was very fearless. Now as a BA, I used to interact with a lot of people. You'll improve your communication skill, you improve your documentation skill, you improve your analytical skill. So you will have, a number of questions. You need to think. So so that is the update. You need to keep on update your skill. You need to help others, which is the best possible way. That's it.
Yeah. So just rightly, as you said rightly, continuous learning is very important for your growth trajectory. Basically, to summarize it.
And one
Uh,
more thing, Ishweta, and even after the, I did the, PIBA in the last year, but still Divanshu give a different session, right? Recently we have, why we are not getting calls, what is the ATS compatibility, how we can maximize, we can create our resume in a better way so that, you'll get a maximum call from the recruiter. So there are different, small tips, tricks, even after, because other classes, what happens, they will, you enroll for the classes, they'll complete the session, and after that they clearly say, if whenever you cannot, if you have anything interview and all everything, you have to clear your own, don't disturb us, it is done means done, you cannot reach out to again us. Whereas even, we have joined, there is a lot of session, lot of tricks, used to give, why your resume not shortlisted, why you're not getting calls, how we can maximize the ATS compatibility, how we can maximize your, resume. You can draft a resume in a such a way that will get a call. So that would be the one of the reason, right?
Yeah.
In the end.
Yes, you said it right, Ram. Actually, the beauty of PIBA is he is trying to build a better BA community out there, and he is helping BA. It's not only related to course, even after that, and even before, I would say, he's helping a lot of BAs out there for in their growth trajectory. So yeah, as you mentioned, it is something that is standing out, and yes, I do feel the same. So okay, thank you so much, Ram, for sharing all the details with us and taking us through your career journey from operations to BA and how your experience was for last 5 years in the IT industry. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank you. Bye.